Peace, world. Welcome to another Substantial Weekly. My name is Substantial. Good to see everybody up in here. What is going on, man? Happy Friday to everyone watching. If it's your first time to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are closing in on 10,000 subscribers. We're really close, so if you haven't subscribed already, please do that. If you've already subscribed, make sure you turn on those notifications. We got a busy upcoming week, man. A lot going on. Next week we are doing this year's first live from home right here on the channel, so you don't want to miss that. So if you're tuning in right now for the first time, or you are a regular, make sure your notifications are on for that. So yeah, man, shout out to everyone in the chat. We got a lot of homies up in here. Shout out to my man Joshua McGee. Peace to you. Shout out to all the folks in the chat. Clap it up for everybody. You know what I mean? Nice afro in the building. Peace. Good to see you. All right, we got Frank in the building. What's going on? That guy Frankie. We got the Franks. You know what I mean? Not a loser. Peace. What's going on, fam? Definitely a regular supporter on the channel. Not always here at the live, so it's good to see you here today, fam. All right, and what's going on, Soul Tiger? Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. Shout out to those of you watching on Facebook, and some of you watching on Twitch as well. Peace. What is going on, Warpath? Good to see you in here. So yeah, man, lots to talk about today. Gonna of course give you updates on the upcoming album Adultish. We're gonna talk about the tour that I've mentioned here on the channel. I know we briefly talked about it last week, and we also mentioned it. I mentioned it on the community page here on YouTube and on other platforms if you follow me across social media. But first, real quick, a few more folks to shout out in the chat. What's going on, Tommy? Good to see you up in here. CJ, peace. What's going on, fam? Good to see you in here as well. So yeah, man, again, a lot to cover. First and foremost, let me drop this link in here real quick. But yeah, man. So one thing I wanted to share with you guys. I know a lot of you are aware that there's a playlist that I curate. That if you haven't checked it out yet, you should definitely check it out. And it's called Soulful Hip Hop. All right. That is a playlist that I curate that is only available on Spotify. But it's pretty dope if I do say so myself. So a little history on that playlist while I'm waiting for this thing in the background to stop tripping and making me look bad in front of company. Yeah, a little bit about the playlist. So how this playlist came to exist. My wife and I, we always go on road trips with the family, and we would put together a playlist of hip hop that had like a certain vibe to it. And this basically that is still tripping in the back consisted of a lot of some of it we kind of mellow, and even the ones that would be upbeat had a very like soulful beat to it, certain elements in it or whatever that just kind of went a bit deeper than some of the more surface hip hop out there, which serves a purpose too, but less of a party vibe and more of a reflective vibe. And so yeah, we put together this playlist, and it all started because my wife is a Nas fan as well. And first she asked me to throw on some Nas, you know what I mean? As dope wives do. So I threw on some Nas, and then while we were listening to it, because she was requesting specific tracks from him, and they all kind of had a certain vibe to it. And I was like, damn, you know what? Let me start putting together a playlist of some of the tracks that kind of feel like this and other joints, you know what I mean? That kind of had this vibe. And so that's how it started. And now we are here with this playlist having nearly what was it, over 4,500, somewhere close to 4,600 followers now. So and even more people listening to it. So definitely check it out as soon as this link comes through in the chat. Yeah, man, it is definitely freezing up. Hold up one second. But there we go. All right. I think I got it finally. Boy, you embarrassing. All right, there we go. Boom. So yeah, man. So the playlist came together like that. Here is a quick look at the playlist for those of you who have not seen it before. Again, you can find the playlist on Spotify, following the playlist right now. Curating this playlist. And yeah, man, it basically went from being something that I didn't even know. I knew it wasn't private, but I wasn't promoting it. And then one day I logged into Spotify to go listen to the playlist. It took me off guard. And so it was just dope that way. So basically started speaking it out, which was super dope. So yeah, man. Yo, it's just been cool to watch it, to watch it grow over the years and all of that. But yeah, man, shout out to y'all. How many of y'all even knew about this playlist? I know I've mentioned it on the show a few times in the past, but I'm just curious to know how many of y'all have checked it out already versus how many of y'all are hearing about it for the first time. Let me know. And also let me know how all right. I am back. Hopefully you can see me and things are now moving quickly. Yo, so I am sorry about that. Hopefully everyone is still here. Peace, peace. Can you see me? All right. Let me know in the chat. I'm back. Sorry. All right. All right, here we go. Okay, so before I was rudely interrupted by the internet gods, what I was saying, soulful hip hop playlist created by me back in 2016. Here is the playlist. I dropped the link in the chat already. If you haven't heard it, you should definitely check it out. Of course, some of my music is mixed in there as well, because especially when I realized, I was like, oh man, a whole lot of people are checking this out other than just me and my wife. I made the decision to go ahead and make it available, not just to the public, but also have some of my music mixed in as well. So yeah, man, if you haven't checked it out already, please follow that link that I put in the chat and you can do so. All right. So real quick, let's just say peace to a few other folks. Hey, opening peace, what's going on? Hopefully I said your name right. Apologies if I did not. Good to see you in here. And who else we got in the chat? I think I caught up with everybody else. But yeah, man, peace to y'all. And sorry about the technical difficulties. All right, cool. So yeah, man. So that's what's up. Nicaragua in here. That's love. Marquise, what's going on? Peace, what's going on? Last King Saints up in here too. So yeah, man, we're popping today. About 20 deep so far. So yeah, man. Again, check out this playlist. I added some music to it this morning. Added that God of Rap joined by Ab Soul. Really love Ab Soul's album. If you haven't checked it out, you should do that. It's called Herbert. It's really dope. He's just a great man. He's a great writer. Love that dude's pen. And his story is just crazy, man. His experiences and stuff, and his bout with depression and suicide and all of that, and how he's just the music he makes, man, is just really, really refreshing. So definitely check out the playlist. Obviously, some other stuff is there now that they added De La Soul's catalog back up. I had to put Trying People on there. Wouldn't be complete without it. But yeah, man. So that is that for that particular aspect of the show. That particular thing I wanted to focus on for the show. Let's keep it going. So another quick reminder: the Words, Beats, and Life Festival is going on here in the DMV. That's happening April 4th through the 9th, 2023. For those who don't know what Words, Beats, and Life is, they're an organization that I work with. I actually teach music business classes with them. And I've been working with them for quite some time. I've done shows with them, so on and so forth. And they're putting together this really dope festival, which is it's a celebration of poetry and different events that's going to be happening. They're also going to have Bilal, who's an amazing vocalist, one of my favorite male vocalists of all time. Really, really dope. He's going to be featured. I think the festival already has over 3,000 people who reserve tickets. Some of it's going to be happening at the Kennedy Center. Some of it's going to be happening at different locations around the DMV. Now, one of the events that's going to be happening is this right here. And let's zoom in a bit so you can see. But so, yeah, man, this particular event here is going to happen in D.C. And basically on the Saturday during the festival, we're going to be honoring Lupe Fiasco as the rap laureate. And it's going to be at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Library. So it's going to be super dope. And I'm basically going to be leading the conversation, talking about his contributions to hip hop and why the organization came to the decision to name him the rap laureate. So if you're in the DMV, come check it out. We've invited Lupe to be at it, but like if you've been to any award type of event, obviously whoever's being honored, they're invited, but that doesn't always mean they'll be physically present. But it's still, regardless, going to be a great event and a great conversation around this brother's amazing catalog and now his work in academia and and all of that, man. And who, if you could select who the next rap laureate would be, I'm curious to know who would get your vote. I know somebody, for me, definitely Black Thought would be in that conversation as well, in terms of pushing his pen far beyond what I think, like his writing and how he pushes forward through his writing. It's just really interesting to me and how he creates his craft and stuff. So I know that brother would definitely get my vote in the future, but let me know in the chat who you are, who you're a fan of, and who would get your vote for the next rap laureate. All right. But yeah, man. So again, definitely look out for that event. If you do not have information on the Words, Beats, and Life festival, let me drop that in the chat for you real quick. Gotcha. This should do it. All right. So the link is in there for y'all in case you missed it. But yeah, man, definitely look out for that upcoming event. It's going to be really, really dope. All right, let's keep it moving. So another quick reminder for those who don't know, next week is the live from home happening right here on the channel. Be sure to make sure that you turn on notifications if you haven't already, as I mentioned before. You can also go to the link that's in the description of the video. You can click on the link that takes you to where this video will be live, and you can turn on the notification for it. So that way, the moment it starts up, you are reminded to tune in, man. It should be fun. It's going to be me solo for this first one, as I mentioned before. Excuse me. And yeah, starting with a beat set, We're gonna do a brief live performance. I'm gonna give you a preview of some of the music from Adultish, and I'm also gonna debut the track list for Adultish because I should be getting more details on the final, the final version of the album next week. I was talking to my engineer, my brother Tone Deaf, and we're really close to being done. It's super exciting. So yeah, man. So tune in live for that. I'm debating if I'm gonna go live twice in a day, because as you remember in the past, I usually only go live during the evening whenever I have the live from homes, because we do Q&A then. But I'm debating if I'm gonna go live early in that day, just so I can put certain reminders, set those during the day, and then in the evening, focus more on the performance and Q&A in that particular time slot. So let me know what y'all thought, what y'all think about that, and then we'll kind of go from there. Backtracking to what we were talking about before for Rap Laureates, we got Black Thought, Funky DL, Styles P, all great submissions. Not mad at those. Just based off of some of the people you mentioned right there, when I see Styles P, I kind of think if I had to choose between Locks members, I'd probably go with Jada. You know what I mean? But I ain't mad at Styles P either. Also an amazing artist. All right. Peace. What's going on? Good to see you up in here. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, man, so that is what's going on for the live from home that's happening next week. Let me get this next thing queued up, because this is why we're really here, folks, or why some of you are really here. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it, shall we? Basically, what's going to happen now is I'm going to run down some of these shows for you. Unfortunately, I got to put me somewhere else, so I'm not blocking it. That's maybe a little too small, so let's fix that. Pow. Let's get rid of that there. Shazam. All right, so here we go. This is what it's looking like so far, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Jada is dope. Super dope. So many names. Keep up the good work. Man, I appreciate the love. Thank you, family. Sorry, I was reading off the chat. But yeah, man, Jada super dope. So many sick lines. Yeah, Sheik is dope too. Even though you call him Shrek, we ain't judging, right? Yeah, man. So so here it is, folks. So far, so good. We are booking the tour for me and the brother IQ, my brother from the NPC Collective. Here are the dates that are confirmed so far, and keep in mind we are still confirming dates as we speak. So as of right now, I will be in Kansas City on May 4th at a venue called The Ship. This will be my first ever show in Kansas City. So yeah, y'all should show up because that's not a place I always get to go, and I'm super excited about the opportunity. So definitely, you don't want to miss it. Make sure you come through. We are confirming or working on confirming some more Midwest dates. Unfortunately, we won't be hitting a lot of cities in the Midwest. And I say we, but unfortunately, I won't be able to attend every show that me and IQ are doing in the Midwest because of the fact that in May, I'm also teaching. And so I have to teach in person certain music business classes. So some of these shows or whatever that will be happening during this tour I will miss, but I'm only going to be letting you guys know about which ones I will specifically be on. Obviously, I'm going to share the overall tour information too, but I'll be sure to clarify which ones I'll definitely be on. So right now, we're only talking about the ones I'll be present. And so yeah, man. So next up, May 10th, I will be in Seattle at the Nectar Lounge. That's going to be really dope. Love Seattle. This will probably be my second time ever performing in Seattle without Marcus D, considering he does live in Japan these days. Next up, and these are only the confirmed shows once again. Next up, May 14th, I will be in Yuma, Arizona at Red Moon Ale House. That particular show is a part of the Dream Master mixtape that my brother Megaran is putting on. Homeboy Sandman will be performing there that weekend, amongst many others. Shout out to E-Turn. She's super dope. She'll be there as well. Next, after that, I will be in Queens, New York at Bar Frida. This particular venue is not very far from Manhattan or Brooklyn. So don't worry if you're in one of those boroughs that's nearby Queens or connects to Queens. You will not be that far away. So I will be in NYC, Queens, New York specifically, on May 21st. That's a Sunday evening at Bar Frida. So yeah, again, all of these shows is with the homie IQ. On the following day, on May 22nd, I will be in Philadelphia, PA at Kung Fu Necktie. We literally just confirmed that yesterday. Shout out to them. More details coming. A lot of these different events, there will be other artists on the bill. For example, like with the Kansas City show, we'll be performing with the brother, my good brother, Kadesh Flow. So he'll be present at that one. And yeah. More details about who our opener will be in Philly coming soon. And then May 25th through the 28th, I will be at MomoCon in Atlanta, Georgia. So yeah, man, really, really exciting. These are just the ones that are confirmed for the tour. Other events that I will be at later in the year or later after this, Otakon I'll be at this year in Washington, D.C., and then I will be at Kanjutsu, which is in Alexandria, Virginia. So I will be at, well, not Alexandria, but not too far from Alexandria, Virginia. So those are two DMV events. I'll give more details as we get a bit closer to those. Now, with Otakon, I won't be performing in the traditional sense at Otakon, but I will be doing a Sketchpads event, and I will be joined by my sister, Katie Fox. So Katie Fox will be drawing live, and I will be playing beats live. So you'll get to see me doing a beat set at Otakon while live art is happening. All right, and then Kanjutsu, I will be performing at that one. Let's see. Okay, got it. So checking out these comments real quick. Yes, if the stars align, I'm calling out of work on. That's the spirit. That's what I'm talking about right there, son. I appreciate you for even saying that. Now, I ain't telling everybody in here, yo, you need to call out of work, son. I'm coming to town. F what you had to do. You know what I'm saying? You know, you better drop them babies with your baby mom. So now I'm playing. Like, I ain't asking y'all to do all that. All I'm saying is I get hit up a lot about when I'm coming to People City. And every time I announce a show or announce a tour of some sort, there's a whole lot of people who list places I should come. And then the thing is, I show up in People City sometimes, and then right after I perform, I get a ton of messages. Yo, when are you coming to perform in blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, fam, I literally just performed in your city a week ago. Like, and here's the thing. I know not everybody can watch these, and not everyone has the time to sit and watch an hour-long update. But the fact of the matter is, yo, like, I give a ton of information on this for a reason, and I do it consistently. So for those of you who really want to know what's up with me, you can watch any one of these any week and get basically a rundown of everything I got going on currently at the moment and what's coming up. So if you want to stay in the know, it's important to watch these. Of course, email blasts and stuff will go out too. But we're fighting all types of algorithms a lot of time, and not everyone gets the information. So, yo, I appreciate y'all. I'm giving y'all enough heads up. We're about 2 months out from some of these events, about a month and a half from others. So, yeah, man, mark your calendars. Put forth the effort, because trust and believe, a lot of work is going into making this happen behind the scenes. And so not as much effort is required for you to show up, you know what I'm saying, as it is for me to put all of this stuff together, because, you know, I'm not with the agency. We're independent. So a lot of this stuff is being handled by me, my brother IQ, and Mega Ran is helping out as well directly. So we appreciate when y'all show up, man. Definitely. All right. Let's see. Nectar is a great venue. Yeah, man. I've heard great things about it. I'm looking forward to doing it. I always have a great time in Seattle. Let's see. Yes. See you at Otakon, sis. Hey, peace. What up, Early Bird? Got to clap it up for my man Early. You know what I mean? All right. Mickey Sweet says, hopefully you can get back to San Antonio or Austin area. Was in talk. Peace. Hey, what's going on, Mickey Sweet? So I was in talk with DJ Notion earlier this week. We're definitely working on it. I will keep you posted. Hopefully, we'll be in Austin for sure. All right, but I will let you know. Thank you for asking, fam. So I'm not seeing Texas. What's going on? So that was what I was just talking about. So right now we are working on Austin, Texas specifically. IQ will be more than likely doing a few shows in Texas. Unfortunately, I'm only going to be available for one more than likely, and that's only if they can do one of these 2 dates that we gave them last night. So fingers crossed, hopefully that works out. If that works out, you'll see me in Austin, Texas. Now, I know Austin isn't necessarily ideal for everybody, which means you might have to make a trip to come see your brother. But again, it ain't really comparing to the trip I got to make to get there. So definitely, if you can trek up to Austin to come see your boy, I appreciate it. It's a lot closer than having to drive to DC to see me rock. So, you know what I mean? Just putting it out there. But, all right, let's say anything confirmed for Chicago yet. So Chicago, we're in conversation with Chicago right now. We have 2 potential events set up for Chicago. They are not confirmed though. So as of right now, one event would, because in the past when I've gone to Chicago, I've worked with a homie out there who works in the prison system, and sometimes I've gone to speak to the folks in the juvenile detention center, speak to the young people there. So we are working on confirming that and working on confirming a show for the evening. If it happens, it's going to be early May. And the date we're currently looking at is May 6th for Chicago. Not confirmed yet, though. Again, it is not confirmed yet. I'm just, because we're here and we're live, I'm just letting you know what's potentially going to go down. All right. Let me shrink that a bit. But yeah, other questions. Late to the party, but peace. All good. What up, Alex? Good to see you in here, man. Thanks for joining us. Loving to do. Oh, man, appreciate you. Thank you. You know what I mean? Glad you enjoying the newness. Love that you're still killing it, man. Jeremy, thank you so much for that, man. I'm doing my best. Still having fun doing it. So thank you for the support. All right. Fam, talk to me. What do you need to do to make Texas? I mean, the conversation just started with Austin. So, I'm going to text my man today just to make sure he got the info I sent. I'm definitely doing my best to work with them. I gave them 2 dates instead of 1 to pick from. So hopefully it pans out. Definitely not hitting. Nah, I'm going to stop there. I could say more, but I ain't going to say more. But yeah, we are working our best. I'm doing our best to make Austin happen. I will keep you posted for sure. All right. Great to see this. Hope you can fit in some California dates. We're absolutely working on it. California, I got to follow up. I got one guy who's helping with Cali specifically. I'm going to follow up with him this week to see if he got any updates. In the past with LA, the last two times I performed in LA, 3 times maybe. No, it was twice. I think it was twice, maybe. Yeah, 2 to 3. Last 2 to 3 times. I think it was 3 times now that I think about it. But the last few times I performed in LA, I had to book it myself. Which was it's not ideal, but like we end up basically acting as promoters as well as the performers. And those events all went well, but it's a lot, fam, and we are trying to make it happen. We're also working on trying to confirm something for DC as well. Conversations already happened. It's just hasn't been confirmed. With Cali, no conversations have been had with actual venues yet, but we have sent emails and messages, and we're just waiting to hear back. All right. Let's see. Those prison shows must be powerful and emotional. So yeah, the stuff that I've done with the juvenile detention center out there, it wasn't shows per se, it was workshops. So a lot of y'all know that I work in education, of course, early knows. And so a lot of times I go in there and I do an activity, like a writing or art activity with them. And I do like a brief, performance, like a cappella type of thing, not like full setup, because they are looking more to have it's more like enrichment, like activities more so than just the performance. And then it's conversational too. They get to ask me questions and all of that. But it's different, man. It's definitely a very different vibe. It's heavy too, because like, you know, what you realize when you talk to certain people is like, man, access to resources and just information can make a huge difference in somebody's life, especially in this day and age where most information is just, it's a few clicks away on your computer. And so, yeah, man, it's one of the I'm having a moment, but yeah, one of the conversations I had with this one young brother when I was there, because this one dude, he didn't enjoy writing, but he could draw. So I gave him the information. I gave him the ability. I gave him paper and pencil to draw as opposed to write, and gave him a few prompts and stuff. And we just started having a conversation about it. And even though I was there to talk mostly about my music career, I started talking to him about art. And then he asked me, he was like, "Wait, like people have paid you to do art? Like, like you've gotten paid to draw?" And I was just like, that was hard to hear, right? Because, we talk so much about starving artists, and we talk about all these different things, and just certain people just don't have access to not just resources. Like, people are resources too. And so if that person who wants to draw professionally but doesn't know anybody in his community or in his family that does it professionally, right? There's certain questions that not everyone uses the internet to research information like that. A lot of times people are using the internet solely for entertainment, right? So they don't think to just, let me just close out this app and then go over here and search this. But just having a conversation with him, and then like talking about how young I was when I first started selling my art. I was still in elementary school when I started selling art. And I'm not talking about like, I was making like $2-3. I'm like, sure, it was that. Like at one point in time in like fourth grade or third grade or something like that, man, I stacked up like $100 just from like selling my art and then recycling cans and stuff like that. Like I was always hustling, trying to figure out, because my mom didn't always have the money to do what things that I wanted to do. So I figured out ways for me to get money. I was surrounded by people who hustled. They just hustled different things. And that was the one thing I could hustle before I did music that I wouldn't get in trouble for. I was good at it already and I enjoyed it. But the moment I realized I could do it to make money, it was a wrap. You know what I mean? And so just having conversations like that is super powerful, man. And and it's heavy too, because it ain't all about money sometimes or whatever for a lot of folks. It's like, it's about expression and about, yeah, that's cool and all. You know what I'm saying? And that's great for people who are financially stable. But a lot of times people who don't have that financial stability, they don't feel as though they have the spare time to do things that require a lot of their time simply so they can express themselves, right? It's like, so, they're in survival mode constantly. So they're trying to find ways to spend time doing things that are pretty much going to help them see returns, so that time doesn't feel wasted, and so they can provide and not take on other options and other alternative means to support themselves, their habits, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, yeah, man, I know that was a hell of a tangent, but I appreciate you early. I know you know. Went to a venue called The Fire last year with Mega Ran and Kadesh Flow supporting some popular nerdcore artists. And it was great. So I would definitely be looking forward to getting to Kung Fu Necktie. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Should be a good time. All right. Congrats to Lupe. I'll bump some of his songs in celebration of hip hop. Word, indeed. I wish you could come to Minnesota. We are in talks with a venue in Minnesota. Unfortunately, the date that was offered is the same day that we're planning to do Chicago. In Chicago, we currently have 2 events on the table. So yeah. Yes, a little something. It's not so much, it's allergies and stuff. Whenever I definitely need the dust in here. Like I have a real bad like my allergies are crazy, specifically with dust. Like if I go to move something and like I haven't touched that thing in a while and it's covered in dust, if I don't immediately wash my hands and I touch my face or near my nose, and there's always something dusty in the studio, like, because there's certain stuff I use all the time, and then there's other things that like I'm not using every day, but it's connected to things or touching things that I use every day. So when I come in here and go to do something, if I don't immediately dust or do all of that before I start my day, usually when I'm in here, it's a little bit of a fight. You know what I mean? Which is crazy because, I record in here too, which can be a hindrance sometimes. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel that position. I'd love to talk to that kid. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was heavy, man. Like, because in those moments, you definitely realize that, like, damn, if this kid had certain information before they did what they did, they wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So, and so I think that's also part of the disservice of traditional education, right? Like, we always talk about art in a supporting role, but not as like, we in schools, it's not always talked about as a profession. It's really just kind of, it's like creative recess. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like it gets treated in a lot of schools. And then when you see them using teaching artists that they bring into the schools, a lot of times working in support of like math classes or science classes or English classes and things like that. Again, it's kind of brought in as a supporting role, and more time is spent using it to kind of support other things that the school wants to do, as opposed to treating it, as a serious subject. You know what I mean? That's why it's an elective most times. And so I feel like that's a disservice to a lot of young people, because the thing is, every one of those classes that you're attending a lot of times has a book that you're required to read. And the thing is, what is rarely talked about in these art classes is the fact that a good amount of the materials that the school is using are designed by artists. So these are jobs, right? So when people talk about starving artists and this, that, and the third, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if you're qualified to say that, man. Because most of the artists you're thinking about are either struggling, musicians or people who hope to be professional musicians some days, or like struggling artists who hope to be professional artists some days. But they forget that, like, the books that they're holding, graphic designers help lay those out. The building that they're in was designed by architects, not just engineers, because all these schools talk to young people about being engineers, but they rarely talk to them about jobs like architects, like architecture. The fact that everybody in that school is wearing clothes, including uniforms, and they're not having conversations about fashion design. All of these posters that they use to send certain messaging throughout the school, graphic designers, the school literally has a budget to cover promotional items, from clothing to posters to banners, that they spend throughout the year. I mean, hell, one of the schools I was at, they literally, I designed the basketball court. So like the art that went on the court, I ended up doing that for the school to save them like God knows how much money. You know what I mean? But like, again, the whole thing, one of the main things I pushed when I ran the art club at the school was just teaching them about all of these professions, because it's easy for people to say, yeah, you ain't gonna make no money doing that, when they themselves don't really know about that world. They don't spend time with people who do these things, so they're not qualified to speak on it. You feel me? But anyway, man, all right, tangents, All right, per your recommendations to go through De La's albums, Stakes is High is my favorite album. The transitions from Pony Ride to Stakes is High is crazy. Also, Dennin' It is my favorite track. Yeah, Dennin' It. Yo, hey, where the ladies at? They chilling over here. Where the fellas? We taking over this shit. Hey, that is my joint. I love that joint. Dennin'. Oh, hey, Dennin'. Yo, hey, that joint is fire. Yes, Stakes is High is a great album, top to bottom. It is fire. I would probably say my favorite De La album is The Grind Date, which is funny because it's the one album that's been available this whole time. But even before that, before streaming was a thing, I wore that album out, like top to bottom. From the moment that album starts till it ends, it is crazy. Like, lyrically it's fire, the production's fire. Yeah, I think they are a great example of a hip hop group that is aged gracefully, and the fact that they got classics so deep into their career. Yeah, people talk about their older records all the time, and they are great too. And of course, like, what those records did for hip hop is extremely important. But I think looking at their latter releases and looking at how quality they were in comparison to a lot of their peers and other groups that came after them, who unfortunately, Wu-Tang's a great example. Wu's legends, man, super dope. I love them both as a collective and individually. But we all know that over time, like their albums, like in terms of quality, it just like it started to fall off. And De La, I feel like they're like the exception to the rule. You know what I mean? In terms of groups. And yeah, man, that speaks a lot to like their work ethic and I think their tightness as a unit and just pushing each other and stuff, man. But yeah, man, salute to De La. Glad you went and checked out their catalog, man. Yeah, Stakes is High is a great record. Yeah, they got one of the best album runs in hip hop. Hope you get to dust your studio later on, Stan. Me too. Then possibly make a parody rap of Swiffer. Can't make you no promises. We'll see. But yeah, man. So again, here are the dates for y'all to see one more time before we move on. Again, Kansas City on May 4th, May 10th, Seattle, May 14th, Yuma, Arizona, May 21st, Queens, New York, May 22nd, Philadelphia, PA, and May 25th through the 28th, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia for MomoCon. So those are upcoming dates for the tour. More info coming soon. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, quick reminder for those who don't know, which means you have not been paying attention, definitely check out 1580 if you haven't already. It is streaming on all platforms. Link is in the description of this video. Yeah, man, it is doing really, really well. In fact, if it's cool with y'all, man, let's, I ain't going to play it right now because I know I've played it to death on the show unless y'all tell me, hey, Stan, you need to play it. But I know most of y'all here have heard it, so I'm not going to OD on that. But what I do want to do is share some of the feedback that these radio shows sent me. Because right now it's been added to like close to 30 radio stations, both internet radio and actual stations around the world. And that's been really, really dope. But what's also been super cool, man, is some of them sent feedback. So shout out to the different DJs. They sent feedback talking about 1580. So if it's cool with y'all, I want to share, man. You know what I mean? See what they're talking about. So first and foremost, shout out to Winnipeg, Canada, that put it on rotation on CJUM. They said about 1580, a real musical bomb. Love the record. Peace. And then we got Burlington, Vermont from the Culture Bunker. They basically said, this is fire, substantial, never disappoints. I appreciate the love. Then we got the hip hop director, WODU. I think that's Old Dominion University. Shout out to Norfolk, Virginia. The verses hit hard from Substantial and T.Lucas, and the production magnifies the whole track. Man, I appreciate the love. Thank y'all. Greensboro, North Carolina got it in rotation as well. WUAG, calling it a diamond. Ann Arbor, Michigan, showing love. WCBN. This one got #1 most added at the station. Wow, that's love. Thank y'all, man. Whitewater, Wisconsin. WSUW. Foundations and Loops. Been on the subs journey for a good many years. Keep on pushing. That's dope. That's love. St. Louis, Missouri got it in rotation on KDHX. Shout out to that station, man. They've been showing love for a long time. Substantial is one of the best all-around MCs/artists out there. Man, that's love. Great vocal tone, great delivery, top-tier flow. His production choices are always flawless. Wow, damn. I appreciate the love. Thank you. And then we got Harlem, New York, Nonstop Radio. Says, thanks for continuing to give us quality, bro. The new Substantial is dope. That's love, man. Shout out to my man Sharif Hakeem from Blackfist Radio Promo, who's been working the record for us, man. That's super love. All right. Then we got Toronto. What's the station? Oh, shout out to DJ Romeo, DJ DTS, the Master Plan CIUT. Another absolute banger. You having a killer year this far. I think part of that was for the radio promo team. And then the Nod Factor Radio WJCU in Cleveland, Ohio. Substantial is a quintessential hip-hop voice in this era. Damn, I appreciate the love. There's a lot of head nod knowledge to be taken from his catalog. Man, thank y'all, man. I appreciate all the love. Shout out to all the radio stations. This is just the ones that commented. This isn't all of the stations that added it. That's been a blessing to see, man, how many people are really, really loving 1580. Yeah, thrilled to say the least, man. And, just really, really grateful. So on that note, I saw someone say something. Hold up. Soul Tiger says, play it for the folks who didn't hear it yet. Well-deserved praise. It really is a work of art. Wow, thank you so much, man. Cheers. Looking forward to that Adultish vinyl. Yes. Cover art is finished. I'm just waiting for the final mix so I can submit everything to the manufacturers. We're almost there. It should be going out next week. Great to hear all the recognition and praise. Well deserved. Thank you, family. I appreciate you, man. You deserve all the praise, bro. Thank you. So look, somebody said play it. Soul Tiger said play it. You know what I mean? If it's okay with y'all, I'll run it back. You know what I mean? And then maybe I'll put the instrumental on after as we talk about these other updates. So hold on 1 second while I cue up the tunes. It's coming. There we go. Shazam. All right, pow. Got that. Okay.
I remember way back in the days. I remember way back in the days. Do you remember? Taking your back from before this all. Do you remember?
Yeah. Listen. Never aim to be a caricature. Always working on my character, bruh. People say they want the real, and I'm here still, but where is the love? Put on for PG4, I heard somebody rep where I'm from. Worldwide, I get it done before I overdo it. Share my soul, but I don't wanna lose it. Wasn't put here for your amusement. You gon' respect the man more than you respect the music. From where your safety is determined by your address. Some live long enough to be legends and gain some assets. Though it's rugged way we struggle through the madness. Always knew we had more to offer, although we had less. Through it all, it was always me and my mother. My sisters before they moved out, and occasionally my brother. The homies and the radio that stayed on 1580. TV on the box locked, hoping one day that they play me non-stop, son. Back when me rapping wasn't as lucrative, and Hot Ones wasn't a show that they interview you in. Hostile, no poetic justice, only punitive. Cops was fucking with us daily, we weren't doing shit regardless. Treat you like a felon though. Trying to sell my demo, so I kinda was selling dope. Was more addictive than the music, acceptance. So we learned to turn our curses into blessings. Funny, our souls are fair. We're starving artists, no matter the road ahead. We make progress if you know. A little flavor for your soul, your soul. Keep on, I write like the one we read. To be honest, lift it up before I rest my head. It's not as promise if you know. A little flavor for your soul. Enjoy.
A little kid from Fort Washington was always a Robinson Mall, playing basketball in my David Robinsons. I moved to PG County when I was 5 or son, was rhyming some, but wasn't that biggie, like Bedford Stuyvesant. I had the butter Timbs, but Rick had the double soles. We was like brothers, so we would borrow each other's clothes. Get the most girls' numbers was our summer goals, and when she looked down at my feet, she'd be like, what are those? Jonah was our favorite pastime. Better not be outside if it was past 9. Dancing at the house parties, now you trying to smash, huh? I was playing video games, Sega and Capcom, Fashions, RP55. And ain't they played Work the Walls like 50 times? At Patch's Corner pool parties, it was really live. With your Peach Rock Creek and some chili fries. Susan High's my alma mater. I was brought around a lot of different problem starters. Thought about just how to solve them. Calm and never sort of bothered, even when it's hotter water. Taught to keep it cooler than when you wearing the Eddie Bauer Parker. We would park up at the park and just spark up. Wasn't really long before a freestyle would start up. Run back and do my homework. Think of how my day be. Turn on the radio and just vibe to 1580.
Funny, our souls are fair. Starving artists, no matter the road ahead. We make progress if you know. A little flavor for your soul, your soul. Keep on, I write like the one we read. To be honest, live it up before I rest my
man. Yeah. Once again, that was 1580 from the album Adultish. Now streaming everywhere. 1580, the single, is now streaming everywhere. If you haven't added it to your rotation on streaming platforms, please consider doing that. It's been performing pretty well, man. It's been staying in really good rotation, like over 300 streams a day. So shout out to those of you, man, who've been playing the hell out of it. I appreciate the love. So I saw a comment, I think it was from the homie Joshua. Yes, here we go. Any videos for this track? Would love to see yours and T.Lucas stomping grounds while this track is flowing. So yeah, man, had a conversation with T.Lucas, I think over the weekend, and throughout the week. We were talking about doing a video for the track. So absolutely, there is a plan to shoot a video for the track. Since you brought it up, let's talk Adultish videos, since we were talking about videos. So we're going to switch this real quick. Album watch, Adultish update. So yeah, man. So here's the goings-ons with Adultish, right? In terms of music videos. So the plan as of right now is to only begin to release the music videos once the whole album has dropped. Because of the fact I'm giving folks to join a single at a time, I know how it goes with the music videos. They definitely help to introduce the song to even more people. So rather than dropping them as quick as the singles drop, because we've already shot 3 videos. We shot a video for No Per Diem 2.0. So that's done. That one's already been edited. And then we shot a video for a song called The Long Route, which features Tamara Wellens and DJ Hive. And a video, that video was actually shot in Uganda. And then I shot a video for Reed Richards that was shot in Romania. So one of the videos has already been edited. Two of them still need to be edited. And we have concepts already for two additional tracks. So as of right now, 3 videos shot, 1 done. 2, so like there's bare minimum, there's going to be 5 music videos for Adultish, possibly more, you know what I mean? But definitely 5. So yeah, man, obviously it's not cheap to do music videos. Some of this stuff, some of this stuff we had to shoot ourselves, you know what I mean? Like I had to shoot part of this stuff when I was traveling myself, and then I had homies to help as well. Shout out to Genesis B, who helped me shoot Reed Richards in Romania. Shout out to my man Weta in Uganda, who helped me shoot The Long Route. And then shout out to my man Creative Mindframe from the MPC Collective, who helped me shoot No Per Diem 2.0. So yeah, man, we're working. Like I said, conversations already happening for 1580 for the music video. I will keep y'all posted. Since we were talking about 1580 though, let's do something a little different. Cause once I am done with the live today, I'm gonna be putting the acapella on Patreon for those of you who are Patreon supporters. So you get that for no additional cost if you're supporting at the level of 5 or more. The instrumental and song is already there for download, but the acapella will go up today. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna actually play the acapella. That's something that we've never done on the show, because I want to talk about some of what's happening in the song. If that's cool with y'all, man. I know it's something a bit different, but I think it'd be cool to kind of talk about some of the stuff that went into making it, and maybe y'all can hear some elements that you couldn't hear before. So we'll play the acapella, and then I'll throw in the instrumental next, since we're here. All right. I wouldn't ask without the mindset of contributing. What is needed for the video? Oh man. So yeah, now we're typically these music videos, like the lowest I think I've ever paid to get a music video shot for was like $300, and that was partly, because I borrowed other things with the person, but usually they cost like upward of a G, right? Like, so yeah, man. I mean, we'll talk. I mean, I think as of right now, we're still trying to figure out who would shoot it, and then that will kind of lead to budget conversations after. Because depending on who I get to shoot it, will determine how much it costs. But that's up in the air right now. But real quick, we're gonna listen to the 1580 acapella, and thank you, Josh, man. I appreciate you for even asking that. Would love that. Yeah, man. I'll keep y'all posted. So right now, 1580 acapella. I never do this on the show, but we doing it today. We're going to listen to the acapella because we're going to talk about some of these layers and things happening in the background that maybe you couldn't hear in the mix. Here we go.
I remember way back in the days.
Shout out to DJ RBI.
I remember way back in the days.
Do you remember? Taking y'all back when before this all happened. Do you remember? Yeah.
Let's take a trip way back in the
Listen.
days.
Thank you, brother.
Never aimed to be a caricature. Always working on my character, bruh. People say they want the real, and I'm here still. But where is the love? Put on for PG4. I heard somebody rap where I'm from. Worldwide, I get it done before I overdo it.
What up, Steph?
Share my soul, but I don't wanna lose it. Wasn't put here for your amusement. You gon' respect the man more than you respect the music. From where your safety is determined by your address. Some live long enough to be legends and gain some assets. Though it's rugged where we struggle through the madness. Always knew we had more to offer, although we had less. Through it all, it was always me and my mother. My sisters before they moved out, and occasionally my brother. The homies and the radio that stayed on 1580 TV on the box locked. Hoping one day that they play me non-stop, son. Back when me rapping wasn't as lucrative and hot once. Wasn't a show that they interview you went hostile, no poetic justice, only punitive. Cops was fucking with us daily, we weren't doing shit regardless. The godless treat you like a felon though. Trying to sell my demo, so I kinda was selling dope. What's more addictive than the music? Acceptance. So we learned to turn our curses into blessings. Funny, our souls are fair, but starving artists, no matter the road ahead. We make progress if you know, you know, you know. A little flavor for your soul, your soul, your soul. Keep on, I write like it won't be read. To be honest, live it up before I rest my head. Cause nothing's promised if you know, you know, you know. A little flavor for your soul, your soul, your soul. Enjoy.
All those vocals that you heard were me, by the way. So all the background vocals and stuff. I said the tone when I heard the mix. I was like, yo, did you add anything else? And he was like, nah, he duplicated certain harmony, like parts of the harmony that I was doing. He duplicated it to make it sound fuller, so it was like more voices. But he was like, bro, that's all you. I didn't tune it. That was just all you. I was like, single thug tier. I was like, Steph would be proud of me. I'm out here trying, Steph. I be trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? You know, all them years of honest course didn't go to waste. Here we go. T.Lucas.
A little kid from Fort Washington was always up Iverson Mall playing basketball in my David Robinsons. I moved to PG County when I was 5 or son, was rhyming some, but wasn't that Biggie like Bedford Stuyvesant. I had the butter Tims, but Rick had the double soles. We was like brothers, so we would borrow each other's clothes. Get the most girls' numbers was our summer goals, and when she looked down at my feet, she'd be like, what are those? Jonah was our favorite pastime. Better not be outside if it was past 9. Dancing at the house parties. Now you trying to smash, huh? I was playing video games, Sega and Capcom, Fashions, RP 55. And ain't they played Work the Walls like 50 times? At Patches Corner pool parties, it was really live. With your Peach Rock Creek and some chili fries. Suitland High's my alma mater. I was brought around a lot of different problem starters. Thought about just how to solve them. Calm and never sort of bothered. Even when it's hotter water, taught to keep it cooler than when you wearing the Eddie Bauer Parker. We would park up at the park and just spark up. Wasn't really long before a freestyle would start up. Run back and do my homework. Think of how my day be. Turn on the radio and just vibe to 1580.
Funny, our souls are fair, but starving artists, no matter the road ahead. We make progress if you know, you know, you know. A little flavor for your soul, your soul, your soul. Keep on, I write like it won't be read. To be honest, live it up before I rest my head. Cause nothing's promised if you know, you know, you know. A little flavor for your soul, your soul, your soul. Enjoy.
RBI, man.
On the radio, taking y'all back when before this all happened. Radio flavor. 1580. Take it back since 1580. Back when before this all happened. Do you remember? You heard it on the radio. Back when before this all happened. Keep on. keep on.
Yeah, man. Once again, that was the 1580 acapella. It's available on Bandcamp right now. It's going to be available today on Patreon, probably about an hour or two after I get off today. Yeah, man. Yo, super proud of how that track came out. Shout out to P-Vine Inc. in Japan, the label that allowed me to clear the sample that I used to make the beat for 1580. The sample, you usually don't hear artists talking about what they sample unless they actually cleared it. And I mean, the dope thing is I can actually talk about the music I sampled because I really, really love the song. It's by a group called South Penguin out of Japan, who I discovered because we both got featured on the same playlist back in like 2018. And I just went down the rabbit hole listening to more of their music. And I'm like, yo, they are dope. And so I became a fan of their stuff. And then during the pandemic, I got the idea to sample one of their songs. I had already reached out to them, letting them know that I was definitely going to see them live next time I was in Japan. And then we started following each other. And so I reached out and was just like, yo, I want to sample one of your records. I want to see if we can barter something or if I need to pay. Put me in contact with who I need to be in contact with. And so they linked me with a representative from their label. Yo, it was like 2 years. Took 2 years to clear the sample because the original rep I was talking to, I had never gone through this process formally. So I had a conversation with a lawyer, and it was going to be $3,000 just to work with the lawyer to help me do it. And then I found a different lawyer who I still work with now, who helped out with the process, and we worked things out, man. So shout out to P-Vine again, super dope. Of course, man, RBI absolutely killed it, man. Thank you so much, Tommy. Trying to smash. I was in that house playing games, Sega and Capcom. Yeah, I love that joint. Yeah, t.lucas was beasting. Nah, he definitely went in. Yo, how come only 3 thumbs up? Need all the thumbs up, right? Yeah, man, definitely. If you haven't liked this video already, remember that helps the algorithm. So definitely like the video if you haven't already. Whether you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, shout out to those of you watching on Twitch as well. But definitely like the video if you haven't, just so it helps other people get a chance to see this later. What I'm gonna do right now, give you some brief updates on the album. But while that's happening, we'll throw on the instrumental to 1580. So we'll put that in the background. All right. So let's see, Q&A before we do that. So yeah, all right. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and start our Q&A. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will do my best to answer all of those before I get out of here today, man. Shout out to everybody watching. We've stayed between like 15 to 20 people this whole time. I know some of y'all can't see it depending on what platform you're on, because it's 3 different platforms running same time right now. So yeah, man, always love to see, when we got a nice classroom size, you know what I mean, of folks tuning in. But updates on Adultish, other things going on with it. So as of right now, I have I think all the mixes are done. I am just waiting for the mastering to take place and these interludes to be mixed in. Just to give y'all a heads up, because of time constraints, when you have it on vinyl, even though the vinyl is going to include the vinyl will have the instrumentals and the original songs, but it will be missing certain interludes. And then if you get it digitally and on CD, you will have those interludes included, right? We are trying to mix the album in a way right now where we don't have to cut some of the interludes, but we're really, really close, because with vinyl records, I think you can only have up to 40 minutes. It's like typically 19 to 20 minutes per side. And so right now the record is like right at the 40-minute mark with just the music without the interludes. So we're trying to mix it and master it in a way where we can fit some of these interludes on the record. But there's a good chance that they might only be available on the CD or the digital. So, you know, there's that. Let's go to the chat real quick. I got a selfish one. Can close with Sub Sundays closing? That would be dope to close out the show. You know what? Look, I'll cue it up. I got you. We'll do that today. All right. I definitely got you. All right. What song took you the longest to write, and which song did you rewrite/rework the most? That is a great question. Let me take a look at the playlist for the album, which y'all can't see, but don't worry. Next week during the live from home, I will be making the track list for the album available for everyone to see. So, in terms of what song took the longest to write, the song that took the longest to write is a song on the album called Ghost in a Cell. All right, which is a play on, obviously, Ghost in the Shell, the anime. And it's partly because I had the idea for the song back in 2019, and then right at the top of 2020, right around the I think the weekend of the lockdowns, Jay Electronica dropped his album, and the last track on the album, the subject matter is very similar to what the subject matter of my song is. And so when that happened, I was furious because I knew, I was like, yo, I'm doing this song. Like, there's no way I'm not doing this song because it's personal, right? Like, and I've had a lot of great conversations. So part of what took it so long to write is I just had a ton of conversations about how sometimes with the challenge of artists, especially more so in hip hop, because I don't really see it happen in other genres of music where someone does a song and the subject matter similar, and then everybody's like, oh, they're just stealing blah blah blah's idea. Like, you see it more in hip hop than anything. So in hip hop, a lot of times when you have subject matter that's similar, a lot of times I will question whether or not I should finish the song, put the song out. Same thing with lines. There's times where I'll write a line and I know damn well I didn't hear this other person say it. I just started a line, and that happens. And most of the time I'll scrap the line. But there is a song on the album where I made the song 3 years ago. It's the oldest song that song Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper, I made that 3 years ago, right? Like, it just recently got mixed, but it's the one song on the album that's been done before most of the album, if not all of it. And so, and then about a couple months after I completed the song, or like maybe a year, I don't know, but it was a while after the song was done, I had heard someone else drop, and then they have a line that's similar, and I'm just like, and I was blown, and I was about to scrap the line, but it's one of my favorite lines in the song. And I was like, yeah, after that. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So I think one of the biggest takeaways with the record, too, is being less precious, right? Like, stop taking so long sometimes to get stuff out. Stop like killing yourself to make something perfect, where a lot of times what I end up seeing is songs that I don't think as long about oftentimes end up getting far more praise than songs that I really thought all the way through and tried to make sure everything was perfect, and we mixed it 10 different times, and then I got an orchestral arrangement and like you know what I'm saying, like all these other things happening, and then people be like, yeah, it was cool, you know what I mean? And so, being less precious, man, making the thing, being confident that you did what you set out to do, not overthinking it too much and just getting it out there. And so yeah, man, that's been really cool. But anyway, which song did I rewrite/rework the most is a great one. The 1580 verse, I probably wrote it 3 times. Of those 3 times, finished it once before t.lucas even heard it, because the beat, I made the beat first, and I love the beat so much that writing to the beat, I feel like it's more difficult for me writing to my own beats sometimes than it is writing to other people's beats. And it's because I love the instrumental that I made so much that, I kept struggling with if it even needed lyrics. Talking about 1580. And then when I finally did like what I was saying, that was like my third attempt at writing the song. And I was like, yeah, I think this is it. But I had like a different hook. But originally, like, so the chorus says, I write like it won't be read, to be honest. And like, it's crazy. Like, there's a whole lot of lyrics that people like in there, but to me, that's the hardest rhyme in there, in the whole song. No disrespect to my man T.Lucas, but I write like it won't be read. You know what I mean? Because people oftentimes come to me and talk about like how honest like some of the rhymes are, and how like, how difficult was it to talk about that particular thing, or I'll play certain things for certain people who know me, and they're like, damn, I can't believe you put that in a joint. And it's just because there's a lot of stuff that I'll say in my lyrics sometimes that I know that a lot of hip hop artists won't go that deep, because they're trying to maintain a certain facade, for better or for worse, not judging, but I get it. But I think when I had started to have my breakthrough as an artist, it was because I really started writing rhymes in a way where I could tell, like, it wasn't so much that I didn't care what people had to say. It was more so like I was talking about things that made it real clear that I didn't care what my peer group had to say, like people that I'm actually see. Cause I ain't really stressing, like, no disrespect to any of y'all. Like, most of y'all I don't come into physical contact with, but like talking about certain subject matter and exposing certain things about myself that I know that there's people in my peer group that they would judge me, they would clown me. That shit's soft. Like, even like my nephew, I remember when he first heard the Beat the Heart, when he walked in the studio and heard that playing, he's like, yo, Unc, what's this? And this is Wealth I'm talking about. He's like, Unc, what's this? And I was like, oh, it's this joint this producer wants me to write to for his album. And he's like, wait, you gonna rap to that? Yo, like, people don't know. I think a lot of times people forget, because like my stuff is so positive and stuff, they have this idea of who they believe I am, or what type of background I come from, or like what I grew up around. And like a lot of what I do, fam, people respect it more now that I'm older and they're growing up some, and I've grown up some, obviously. But yeah, man, I wasn't getting a whole bunch of pats on the back and high fives or dap for talking about a lot of the stuff that I talk about. I literally did a song called Our Love Song's Gay. And I did that because when I told the producer, it was shout out to Tone Deaf, this was at a point in time where, like, gay was slang for anything bad, right? Like, people just said, yo, that's gay, like, all the time. And when I first told him that I wanted to rap to that particular beat, he was like, yo, whatever you do, don't make another song about your girl. That shit gay. Nobody want to hear that shit. And I was like, wait, Our Love Song's gay? Like, it was like, son, it's like, let me get this straight. As a straight man, like, no pun intended. So as a straight man, I do a song about my wife or whatever, that's gay. And like, yo, we just started laughing about the ridiculousness of where we are as a culture, that like, something that clearly isn't gay, textbook definition. Like, it's just like, if I don't like it, it's gay. You know what I mean? Which speaks on another level to what people really think about homosexuals and homosexuality. And yeah, man, like, but so when I did that song, I had homies come up to me, like people I've known since like I was like 14, come up to me and be like, yo, what are you doing? Like, son, like, first of all, like, how you got a rap song with gay in the title? And then two, like, why are you, like, I feel like a lot of what you saying, like, yeah, true, ain't nobody talking about it and this, that, and the third, but people ain't talking about it for real. And like, nobody want to hear that shit for real. You see what I'm saying? And I used to hear that a lot about certain things I chose to rap about. And a lot of times people try to get me to pivot and go a different way throughout my career. Like, because people would hear the battle rap stuff and they just wanted me to really just do that shit and be a hard, like, just rapping like about hard shit all the time. And I just felt like there was like a little lane, this more vulnerable space where, like, yo, people like me who grow up around certain things, like, we experience this other stuff too. And then I don't hear it, at least back then, I didn't hear it in most of the music. You know what I mean? So I just tried to tap into other parts try to find a space that I could exist in that was authentic, but also like it wasn't a lane that was oversaturated with people trying to do the same thing. You know what I mean? So thank you for that question, man, because you brought out a ton of other shit that probably you weren't expecting from that answer. But nah, man, thank you. That was a great question for sure. Oh wow, never knew that actually. Learned something new. Word. Let's see. I think you mentioned Bob Alloy album in the works after Adultish as well as Adultish 2.0. Yep, which I'm starting to write now. That's probably going to come out a little later than I expected, but it depends on how quick this writing happens. Will there be some songs you selected for remixes? Yeah, I'm definitely planning to remix a few of the tracks from Adultish. Absolutely. I told Tone I want to remix Reed Richards, do like the Fantastic Four remix and get E-Fam on it. I think that would be dope. He was like, oh shit. He was like, but who'd be the Invisible Woman? And then we joked and we was like, Session, because Session don't be coming around all the time. And I'm sure he'd feel a way about that, but I think it'd be hilarious. You know what I mean? But anyway, T-Pain said there are more artists than seats in any stadium. Wow. So with that being said, it's hard for someone to not have a punchline that's similar to another MC, with rap being a genre older. Man. I mean, it's who doesn't rap nowadays, right? And so I find it easier to avoid people saying similar lines by talking about things that most people aren't going to maybe address sometimes musically, or writing stuff that's a bit more personal. But even then, you know what I mean? Like, because on Salt and Pepper, that's a song that we've never heard that song before, right? Like, for those of you who were here last week, this is the reason why you should watch all of these joints and watch them all the way through. Because sometimes I play shit that's not out yet. Just saying, no pressure. But yeah, man, that's a great point. There's a ridiculous amount of people who do this, you know. What track are you or were you most excited to share from the album? Ooh. I was super excited for people to hear 1580. You know, because I knew the moment I made that beat that track was going to be a moment. You know, I was really excited for people to hear You've Grown. I know how hip hop heads typically are. A lot of times people don't like the sing-songy stuff or the softer songs. You know, because even there's people who love softer production. They love soft instrumentals, but they don't necessarily listen to like soulful, like vocals, like certain types of singers in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, because I can see it by people's listening habits. Like, yeah, you like chill stuff, but if I add this element to it, then it's not your cup of tea. You know what I mean? And so I knew the audience was going to more than likely be somewhat divided over You've Grown, but I was just so proud of being able to share not just my wife's story. I know I've talked about her a ton, but sharing my sister's story and song, because my sister's story is unique, man. Like, you know, being a teenage mom, she was pregnant at 15, had her first daughter at 16, dropped out of high school, later went back to school and got her GED, had a second child, you know, from her marriage, and then that didn't go so well. They separated. That child later, my niece later died because of injuries in a car accident. So dealing with that trauma on top of like the relationship failing, then meeting her husband, who she's been with to this day, who I literally met, I think it was like 89 and 90, something like that, or 91. I've known him for a very long time. This dude is not my brother-in-law. He's my brother. And like, so I was there for that, watching how their life has changed. She's lived in different countries. Then like later in her life, decided to go back to school, like in her 40s, you know, got late 40s, early 50s, went and got an associate's degree. Then she went and got her you know, what was it? So what was it? 3 degrees. She got an associate's, undergrad, and then she got her master's, right? And now she's talking about potentially getting her doctorate. just sold a house, just bought her second house. Like, yo, like knowing how her like and done all of this while surviving breast cancer, losing a grandson who died from brain cancer. Like, fam, you know. So I like that rhyme. That was definitely a hard joint to write, because I knew like I wasn't gonna be able to tell her full story in a verse. And if I'm not mistaken, the verses on that song aren't even. I don't even think they're 16 bars, and they might be, but I think they're like 12 or something like that, right? So yeah, man, I was really excited for people to hear that, more so because, you know, I was proud of how I honored my sister. I felt this though. And then I played it for her before it came out just to see, you know, if she stamped it. And yeah, y'all saw the video, so you know how that went. But yeah, man, that's brave, and the community needs it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And going off my last question, is there any song that you at some point in the process decided to go entirely new direction / sound with? Word. That's a great question. I'm going to come back to that because I want to see some of these other comments just to see if they pertain to what I was just talking about. Yeah, that line is super dope. Thanks. You're going to respect the man more than you respect the music. Another line. Yeah, when I said that, and a few times I played it for people, and I see like people lift up like, oof, like that's tough. You know what I mean? Because yeah, I think a lot of times people mistake that their love for the music as a love for the actual person. And I find out time and time again when I share my views on things that are happening in the world and how I perceive it based on my experience, which I cover in a lot of these songs I rap. Like, so I can always tell when people cherry pick what they listen to from me and what they don't, because I'm sure like there's certain things they don't like production wise, but then there's moments where they don't like what I'm talking about. And, but I'm dead ass serious when I say that. Like, yo, it's great you love my music, but if you love my music but can't respect who I am as a man, that shit don't mean much to me. You know what I mean? Like, for real, just keeping it a buck. So that's why it's hard for me to love certain artists or keep their music in rotation when there's certain shit that they do in their personal life. Like, I know some people can compartmentalize, and I try to, but yeah, bro, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, hell, there's like certain records I got in my collection, and even a poster or two on my wall of some men who've done some sus shit. And like, yo, I grapple with that all the time. And so like, so as much as I work at being a dope artist, it's more important to me that I'm like, I grow to be a better man. And I want people who listen to my music to recognize that growth, because my music is deeply personal if you're really listening. And so, you know, and I speak a lot and share a lot about what's going on in my personal life, in my music, and then when I have these conversations. So yeah, so never get it twisted. Like, the music is important, but how I walk in this world as a man is far more important, you know what I mean, as a human being, you know. So I'm coming back to your question 1 second. Just want to make sure. Definitely one of the most powerful lines from 1580. Thank you. People don't know what they want. Indeed. You're an artist, my guy, more than most. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to come back to that question. All right, so here we go. And going off my last question, is there any song that you at some point in the process decided to go an entirely different, entirely new direction / sound with? So yeah, there's a song called Lost Touch, which the drums that you're gonna hear when that song drops, I was tempted to play. I don't have the mixed instrumental, so I can't even play it for you. But it's too big of a record for me to just kind of drop it quietly in this joint. Like, I'm saving that for the album. That's the one record that I'm not playing until the album comes out. But yeah, that's the song. The drums on it are like recordings of Malcolm Jackson playing drum set that he sent to me for me to sample. I flipped the drums, and I had a different sample for it originally, and it had a nice vibe to it. But you know, I liked it a lot. But when I played it for some of my peers, and then I would test it out kind of live, sometimes when I would do my little live beat sets, people wasn't like, I never witnessed anyone feeling the way I felt about the beat. You know what I mean? So it was just like, maybe there's something missing. And I think that's ultimately what it was. So I kept the drums. I scrapped the samples that I chopped over it and some of the instruments that I played on it. And I found a new sample that gave it a lighter feel. It didn't feel as dark or romantic, because it really wasn't a romantic subject that I had for it. But this newest sample had a lighter feel. And even when I had just the drum sample and the piano sample, when I played that for people, and it was far more stripped down than the developed version of the beat, when I played that for a couple of my peers, Javier Starks, I think, was the first person to hear it. That's why he ended up being on the song. But when I played it for him, he was like, "What's this?" And I was just like, man, that's crazy. Like, because no one said that once for the other version of the beat. And so I was just like, yeah, I think I'm on to something finally. And so I love how he responded. I let Tone hear a rough version of it, Tone Deaf, and he responded. So the moment it came on, he's like, "What's like?" I think I got footage of his face because I recorded that Zoom call. And yo, like, the moment I got, like, I needed that confirmation, because even though I loved it, I hadn't started writing to it yet. And I think part of the reason why I was struggling to write to it is because it wasn't connecting with me on that other level. Like, I had started to jot down ideas, but I could never finish it. And I kept trying to figure out what it was. And maybe subconsciously it was the beat. And but the moment I changed it up though, and so then after I changed it up, I got the idea to get Uyama to play on it, right? And when he hit me back saying that he was with it, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. So then me and Hav started writing. Now the original version of the beat, Shingo had already agreed to be on. So Shingo liked the beat, but even he said to me with the old version of the beat, he was like, yeah, I feel like it needs a change up or needs something or whatever. Is it just gonna stay here? And so, like, even though he agreed to be on it, even he had his, was somewhat skeptical about certain elements of it. So that was probably the track, and that song's called Lost Touch. So that track has me, Javier Starks, Shingo 2, and Uyama on it, and with Malcolm Jackson playing the original drums that I sampled. So a lot went into that particular track, and definitely where it is now versus how it started, it's very different, But the subject matter is the same. All right, let's see. Keep it pushing. Okay, here we go. How come your part in Mega Ran's Morning Glory wasn't included in the version he released on Bandcamp? Don't know if you talked about it yet. I don't know. I didn't even know it was on Bandcamp. So I gotta go check it out. I was going insane wondering if you were really in that. Yeah, I don't know. I'll go check it out and see what happened. But yeah, that's news to me. But it happens all the time, man. Well, not all the time. That happens sometimes where a version of a song will be slightly different. So I mean, it's all love. You know what I mean? Listen, I was talking to Rand yesterday, but I didn't realize that. But thank you for the heads up. I will check it out. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Clap it up. Hey. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, not sure if this has been asked before, but what's your go-to hip-hop dance move? Oh, man. I would say probably the dance move that I like immediately think to, like, music comes on. I think everybody two-step, when 50 has that line, I mean, we in the club doing the same old two-step. The reason why that line's so dope is because the moment I hear it, I'm like, yes, we are. Because I think that for everybody, that's just kind of the default. But fun fact, I used to, before I even rapped, I used to want to be a dancer, a hip hop dancer specifically. So back in the day, in terms of like dances that I could do. Matter of fact, man, there's probably footage online of me and Pac FM touring together with Cunning Linguist doing the Kid and Play Kickstep on stage. So yeah, Kid and Play Kickstep. Of course, like dances like the Running Man, Roger Rabbit. What's the joint? Even MC Hammer's little what do they call the joint? probably hella offensive now, but this is what the dance was called. It was called the Chinese typewriter or some shit like that. But yeah, man, a lot of those dances, I would say from elementary to middle school, like I was known for dancing because I wasn't a rapper yet, but I was known as a dancer. I was known for dancing and I was known for art, including graffiti. So people would come to me literally inviting me to their party for the sole purpose of dancing and getting folks hyped. I remember getting injured right before a big party around my neighborhood, and homegirl was super blown because she was like, "Oh my God, y'all, I was hoping you was gonna come to my party and dance." I was like, you know what I mean? Like early in my life, I thought that was gonna be a major part of who I am now. But yo, thank you for that question. Let's see. Answered that one. He had to break his answer down into chapters for that question. Super facts. Oh man, gotta leave. Peace, fam. Good to see you, Warpath, man. I appreciate you, Eric. All right. But that would say, were some of your favorite or most significant memories of your career? Favorite or most significant memories of my career? Definitely meeting Chuck D. And him saying what he said, like, you know, about me as an artist, as he introduced me to a crowd of people who didn't know who I was mostly. That was a unique moment. Of course, showing up in Japan and that whole experience was amazing. Showing up to do, like, I remember going to Taiwan and perform for the first time. And that being a sold out show that literally sold out like within 48 hours, I think the show sold out. And that was just crazy to me because, you know, I've done like a sold out show here and there. But that was the first time I had done one where I was like me and Marcus D were the headliners. And it wasn't like a tribute show. It wasn't like, you know, a collective show. Like we were the headliners and it was sold out. And it was not a small venue. And so that was a big moment. First time performing in London, just you know, because this was a part of my first trip to Europe, and so walking into venues and meeting people who actually knew some of my songs and all of that, folks who really were tracking my career, and that was just really, really crazy. So moments like that. Anytime my family's been able to go with me, like when I toured West Coast back in 2017. And my family actually came with me on tour. That was a really dope moment too. But yeah, man, it's a ton of them. But yeah, those were definitely some awesome moments. Don't cry. Technically, You've Grown is a special music video in itself. Yeah, for sure. Your sister's reaction was powerful and priceless, man. Thank you. Indeed. All right. Take care, fam. Have a great weekend. All right. Cherry picking songs is great. Yeah, indeed. All right. Let's see. Man, I'm loving the activity in the chat. I'm just sitting back. Y'all killing it. No doubt, man. Y'all on it today. Oh, thank you so much, Kit. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Seriously. What happened in the chat is MVP. So for me, it's been easier to come up with the follow-up questions. No doubt. Yeah, both him and Josh stay holding it down. Love this perspective and thought process behind the scenes to create the project. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I feel that. Word. On Spotify, I saw that. I saw for the first time your club music. Yeah. If you dig deep enough, you will find some of them like more club / EDM tracks that I did. People forget that me and super producer, my brother Chu Fu, have done a lot of work together. And that's really not like me doing something to quote unquote try to break into. And it's like, man, that's the homie. And I would be in the studio with him, and he is known for doing club music, but he's produced songs for me. Like if you listen to a song called What I Love, another song I did called Opium, both of those songs were produced by Chu Fu. They don't sound anything like the stuff he's done for Lady Gaga, the stuff he's done for Rihanna, the stuff because he was Lady Gaga's tour DJ, the stuff he's done for Black Eyed Peas, what he did for Kanye. Like, this is my homie, right? For like over 20 plus years. And he really blew up when he started doing the EDM stuff. Keep in mind, this dude's a classically trained like musician, jazz saxophonist, like can play. But when he became a DJ and he started remixing top 40 hits without their permission. He would just make acapellas out of the vocals he could find, and then he would do full DJ sets in Amsterdam, doing residencies out there, and only play his original remixes, right? So he'd take all their vocals, remix the joint, and build a whole set around remixes he produced of these other people's songs. And I think he had a couple moments where he popped off, but he almost had a legal situation with Kanye when he flipped Love Lockdown based on Kanye's Grammy performance. He ripped the audio from that and then remixed it and literally put it out the same night. And Kanye hadn't even released the song yet. And it was to the point where like Playboy Bunnies in like Europe and stuff were, or was it Playboy Bunnies, or it was like a Victoria's Secret show, something like that. And they literally came out walking to Love Lockdown, but it was his version, not Kanye's original version. So yeah, man. So he just would sometimes hit me up, and like when he couldn't find certain acapellas, he would be like, yo, just flip the hook. Like one of the joints we did, like instead of in the club, it was at the club. And so we did a spinoff of the 50 hook, and then I just kind of put my rhymes, me rapping and stuff like that, doing some other stuff. So yeah, man, we got joints like that. If you look up Phenom, you might find some stuff. I know a lot of those songs came down, but we had did a joint with legendary bassist. Oh my God, I know his name. Oh my God, I'm having a blackout moment. Played for Funkadelic. Oh my God, I'd rather be Bootsy Collins. There we go. So yeah, we had a joint with Bootsy Collins. Literally, man, there's audio somewhere where he was hanging out with Bootsy, and Bootsy had heard some of the stuff I did with Chu Fu. And then like he's like, yeah, Substantial's a dope MC, baby. Like I gotta hit him up to see if he still has that footage, man, or at least the audio. But I remember he sent that to me. And yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, man. But yeah, that's how I ended up doing the stuff for Bentley Motors. It was through Chu Fu. They had commissioned Chu Fu to produce a song for them. Chu Fu wanted me and my man Jay Cast, who was a part of Phenom. For those who don't know who Jay Cast is the son of hip hop / funk music royalty. Jimmy Castor, the Jimmy Castor bunch did like the song that Just Begun joint, classic joint. All the b-boys should know what's up. But yeah, man, that was my boy's father. And so funny story, like I helped him, his father, and Kool Herc reconnect, because Herc was talking about him, and then I was like, yo, I'm actually tight with his son, man. His son is like little bro, like, so he was like, man, if you need any help connecting, he was like, man, if you could do that, Stan, that'd be great. And so yeah, man, but just crazy stuff. Like I know I don't talk about these type of things all the time, but yeah, man, I be out here doing things. I didn't like the idea that dance moves could hurt me. Super facts. And I'm bust my ass trying to do certain dances so many times back in the day. I remember that line in Favorite Things. I think it was that you said you didn't want to get hurt. Yeah, so man, I mean, like dancing is, yeah, it's art, but it's also very much sport. You know what I mean? So I didn't have as many injuries as I did from playing football, but I used to also step. You know what I mean? Like when you see like the like fraternities and sororities step at black colleges and stuff. So I used to step when I was in high school. And so, that's kind of like, it's like percussion mixed with dance and other elements. And I used to get shin splints from doing that, man. Like my shins would be tore up from stepping. So like dance in different forms, man, can be pretty serious. What motivates you to do what you do, my guy? Man, I find a lot of enjoyment and peace in creating, like whether it's visual art, music, just different things I experience in life. Like I'm always like, a lot of this stuff is like puzzles. I used to love puzzles when I was a kid. And so like working on a song, From the sampling to building the drums to playing the keys and adding all these different things to it. It's like a puzzle, right? Like you're trying to certain things. You get pieces of think about it like the drums are like the corner pieces, right? Like kind of hold it together. And then there are parts of the puzzle where you're able to put it together based on different colors that are in that section. And those things like really pop and stand out. So like that's the sample a lot of times, right? And really when I'm doing this stuff, it's like I'm putting together a puzzle, and that's a process I've always enjoyed since I was really, really young, doing that with my mom. And the same thing with writing rhymes. Like I'll have the idea, and the idea is like getting the box before you get the puzzle, right? Right? You just got the box with the picture, and it's just like, yo, it's basically you starting at the end. Like this is what the song is going to be about, and in my mind it sounds like this. And then from there, I'm just finding the pieces lyrically or production-wise, musically, whatever, and I'm just piecing it together until I feel like it formed the picture that I saw in my mind when I first thought to do the thing. So that process is extremely enjoyable to me to this day, both with visual art and music. And so, yeah, man, that's a lot of my inspiration just kind of comes from like the joy it brings me when I do it. Sometimes it just comes from life and inspiration I get from individuals that I come across or experiences I have. So I pull from a lot of places. What up, nephew? Peace. Glad to have the stream be the first thing I wake up to. That's what's up. Good to see you. True food, man. Yeah, he is. Boosie, baby. All right, so I think I'm going to get ready to go because we are way over time today. We damn near did 2 hours. Thanks to this chat, I will not only be looking forward to hearing Stan's soulful hip-hop playlist later on, but I have an urge to listen to the soon-to-be classic Pitter Patter. Yeah, man, Pitter Patter was a good one, too. Shout out to Jay, man, who produced that joint. It's definitely a good joint. A Pitter Patter remix would be dope as fuck. I mean, it's not my call. You know what I mean? I did that for someone else's project. So, if I did it, it would be like a part 2 or something. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I have to holler at them. Let the music be the food, fuse to spark my soul. Yeah, man. Shout out to the homies Inverse. Hey, man. I don't know if y'all realize it, but one of the rappers on that song is the same Tunji that I believe is president of Def Jam Records. So, like, it's just super dope to see all of these people that I've met through collaborations and all of this stuff. But yeah, that the same Tunji that is responsible for Def Jam Records is the same Tunji that you heard rapping on that song, who's also rapping on the first Bop Alloy record. We also had an unreleased song that we did with Algorithm like years ago. But shout out to Tunji, man. Real good dude. Yeah, for sure. All right. So on that note, let me get out of here, man. Today was dope. It was a fun time, man. I hope y'all had a good time hanging out with me. Remember, next week, we're doing the live from home. Make sure y'all tune in for that. Turn on your notifications. If you haven't liked this video already, I don't know what you're doing and why you're being mean to me, but you need to do that. Hit that like button. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, but mark your calendars. March 31st, next week, the first live from home on the channel since last year. Excited to bring it back. I think the last one we did was like mid-May of last year. So yeah, man, definitely going to be exciting to bring it back. We'll see how it goes, and we'll go from there. But yes, before we go, for old time's sakes, I'm going to put on a little closing music, you know what I mean, by special request from my brother, Joshua McGee. Let's get the tunes popping. Hold up. I just saw it. I just had it up. Hold, closing. There we go. All right, bet. So let's get some closing music, shall we? Hey, thank you, Josh. Appreciate that, man. Shout out to everybody who contributed to the channel today. Remember, if you ever want to donate, you can do so via the super chat, super stickers, all that good stuff. And you can also do it via Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. You know what I mean? And if you can't pull it from the screen here, you can always get it from the description of the video. But yeah, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in. All right. God bless. Peace. Oh man, I gotta hunt the backdrop down. I don't know. Look, I'm gonna have to screenshot that from one of the old Substantial Sunday videos. Fun fact too, this is my top stream song all time in terms of my solo material. This actually has more streams by itself than some of the songs that I did with Nujabes combined. Yeah, I think the song is closing in on 10 million streams. So shout out to y'all, man. Never imagined that it was going to be as big as it ended up being. But yeah, man. But everybody be good. I could see you soon. Talk to you sooner. Peace, y'all.